Good morning, guys. So I want to show you the atomic stuff right now. So when I'm talking about atomics, I'm talking about where the planes are perpendicular, right? So like that, like that. That's an atom. That's an atom. That's an atom. You can bend it down so the planes are vertical versus vertical, but perpendicular. You know, that's you could do one diagonal and one that's an atom because if you look at it from the right angle, it's perpendicular. It's just one of them is diagonal and one of them's in wall plane. And that seems almost ridiculous, but if you're doing box mode plane breaking, you can end up in a diagonal atom. Bring this sort of thing, and then you just go into wall. Oh, shit. You see what I'm saying? Boom. Diagonal atom. And then back to your wall plane split time stuff. So there's, the way I think of it is orientation is what I call that. How's the atom oriented to my body? And another thing to just keep in mind is like nitty gritty theory shit. But if you're spinning forward and then so there's valley mode, or if you tip that forward, that's outside the box. And then there's mountain mode. And if you tip that into vertical, you're inside a box, right? So that's actually just the same atom flipped upside down, but the way it correlates with our body, it's almost like there are two different atoms. So it's like, for me, it's easier to think of two different atoms than one of them upside down. It's weird. So just imagine there's two, so if you're forward valley mode correlates with reverse mountain mode, and then you're back. And then so it looked like that first demo you were showing was vertical versus vertical like this, and then you were kind of doing a split like so. And that's a cool pattern because like you got your vertical versus vertical, and if you aim it right, you can see one, and then you're split like that. So you can kind of see what's going on there. And it makes a cool pattern from the front too, right? Makes things, both of them are ovally instead of circly. That I would call vertical versus vertical. And with that, the way I was demonstrating that, I've bent them. So if you take your buzzsaw, you can bend from the bottom of the orbit, keep the top still, or you can bend from the top of the orbit and keep the bottom still. And we can also bend from the front of the orbit or the back of the orbit, right? So that first demo, this one that I was showing you, boom, that one, I bent it from the orbit side closest to me. So I'm inside the box, right? And then you can also do one where you bend the front of the orbit out. So you're outside the box, right? I'm in valley mode, I tip it forward. So I'm standing, looking, the vertex of the V is pointed towards me, right? I can bring my hands together like a buzzsaw, or I could cross them. If I cross my hands, the poi is on the outside. And this is kind of what Randy was talking about with his that video he demonstrated. You upswing through, upswing through. So if you take this one, if my right hand's on top and I turn to the left, I can swing my right hand, blink, through almost in reverse, blink, like so. And that move, that's the one, Bradley, I think you were demonstrating that one too. And that was called the Coleman, and then the not Coleman, because the guy Coleman said he didn't invent it. And then God knows what it's been called now. But that's just, you're doing your outside the box, arms crossed atomic, with an in swing from the top to the bottom by turning, right? So I'll show you that from the side. Turn, and one goes through the middle, right? Through the middle. You can also, if you turn 90 degrees, they can both go through the middle. Both of them like that, right? And that's what some people called an introversion a while ago, and now I have no idea what it's called. Double in swing atomic, And then the other thing with the skateboard analogy, right? So you take your poi, you bend the side that's away from you, and you cross them. Now you turn your body 90 degrees, like we're skating. This is forward in the skate, that's reverse. Just like you're doing a cross hug, like a crosser weave kind of thing, like this. Just bring that crosser down to your wrists, so your wrists are crossed, and then tip them so you're atomic and do the crosser that way. You can pull close to your body and then turn, and that makes it a little easier. And then push it out. Like that. If you get it real close and just keep it going back and forth like this is what Nikki Evers coined the term wavy weave for, right? So what I'm doing is the wavy weave. And if I do that from this direction, here's my vertical versus vertical. I turn skateboard style, wavy weave. So from one side, it looks like a split op. And then from the other side, it looks like whatever this is. Maybe kind of same direction, split same. But what's cool about linking that wavy weave with that knot Coleman thing that you were doing is now you have access to forward and reverse, right? So you have your forward knot Coleman with the in swings like Randy was doing, or with that turn swing through thing that you were demonstrating, Bradley. You link that up with your skateboard tech, your back and forth, and then we end at this side. You'll see that we have that same kind of atomic buzzsaw with my hands crossed. I can do the same through the middle. I can do the same also turn and bring them both through. Or I can turn all the way around with that one. And here's my wavy weave. Here's my wavy weave with both going through. And if you do that, you have to switch which hand's on top, and then you can bring them back through the center. Switch which hand's on top, switch, center, switch, center, switch. And I mean, it kind of doesn't look atomic in the video, but all of this is maintaining my perpendicular planes. And so that's one of the things that I think atoms are awesome for, and they get kind of confused because I think that people will learn bending and breaking without learning the atom thing. So like iso bend, if I was to do this, you know, people, I see often when people do their bend patterns, they do it and then they come back to something they're familiar with. I suggest everyone gets familiar with atoms, because when you get here, it's good to be able to come to your foundation, you know. Everyone knows this one, bend this way. This is actually a different atom, and it interacts with your hands and your body differently. So it's good to get familiar with that one. You know, and the same thing, box mode correlates with the diagonal atoms, all these ones. And I think I think you were doing the versus vertical like so. And I think the one that I was doing is diagonal, you know, so get your diagonal plane, and you nailed it. It is just like a cap, but diagonal. And then you get this one going diagonal, get that cap kind of dialed. And then you can do your buzzsaw. You bend the bottom, keep the bottom still, bend out the top, and bring your hands together, and then just extend one up, and you get this kind of cool X thing. You can just extend all the way across, or you can do the little beat in the middle. I think the beat in the middle looks kind of cool. And then if you've been practicing that in reverse, so this one's valley mode, right? And if I turn around, it's mountain mode. So I'm going to just show you in reverse mountain mode from here. You can practice the same kind of thing. Split together, split together, split together, and then split. When you get to that split, I imagine it's kind of like the Fantastic Four thing, which is incredible, and I still have to work on a lot. And the same with the inverted thing. This is so tough for me still. I want to get it. It looks so badass. It's just it's proven more difficult than it looked. You made it look easy, you know. But back to the atom thing. So like that, I imagine with the Fantastic Four where you cross, there's that moment where you turn real fast. So it's going to be kind of like that. As these move up to one side or the other, you turn, they click here, and then turn around. And then the same thing on this side. And that way you can get these X flower, and you can do them in like 360s. Oh, okay, yeah, here's the other thing is, if you're in valley mode, non-native hand on top, you get an X. Native hand on top, you get an X. Non-native hand on top, you get a diamond. And you can do that same turn technique with those. Whip, 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 or whip, shoot, whip, 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 whip. And then, I mean, it all works. It all works. All the different orientations. Just some of them are more difficult to perform, and some of them don't look as cool, right? I think I already showed you guys this one, but like, here's the 5-pointed star and chasing, you know? So each poi is one bend behind the other, or one bend ahead of the other. And that one looks pretty cool. You can do the same pattern. So with this, my shared axis of these two is pointed towards the audience. I'm going to take that shared axis, and now it's vertical versus vertical. I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to run that 5-pointed star pattern in chase mode, just like I was doing. Like, it looks kind of cool, but you can't really tell it's a 5-pointed star, you know. One of my dogs is right now in surgery, and my other dog is missing her sister. All right, I'm going to upload this and share it with you guys and then get caught up, because I saw that y'all been chatting a bunch this morning, and I want to see Nell's update video and catch up with the other tricks you guys have been sharing. Have a good day.